3 straight wins, 5-2 on the season. Cade Cunningham's clutch. Career night for Isaiah Stewart. And we've also got an update on Malik Beasley. All of that in just a moment. Welcome back to the Pistons Jack YouTube channel. We have a whole lot to cover today, but for the most part, we're going to be reacting to the Pistons' third straight win, their 5th of the season. They're now 5-2 for the first time in, I can't even remember, maybe since I've been a fan, because I'm pretty sure in that 2019 season where they started 4-0, they dropped a few. So I can't remember the last time they've started the season this well. And since I've been a fan since 2012, this is, I think, the best start. Maybe the 2017 where they started 14-6, but this time we have a true superstar and things feel a lot different. So many places we can start with this game. I think I want to start with Isaiah Stewart's performance. As you can see, the Pistons end up winning 114-106, and Cade Cunningham probably ends up being the best player with the way he played in the fourth, and we'll get to that in a moment. But Isaiah Stewart has been exceptional this entire season. He started the season in Chicago with a 20-10. I think that was like his third of his career, something he hadn't really done since his rookie season. And tonight, he puts up a career-high 26 points. He has 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. He shot 2 of 8 from 3, but with what we want him to be and where we want him to get to, you'll take that. He hit a really key corner 3 in the fourth, I think, off a Jalen Duren pass. But 50% from the field, 34 minutes, like just huge. Kind of looking like that prime Al Horford type player. Maybe even a bit better of a rim protector though, that we all kind of envisioned when he was a rookie. But regardless of the comparisons, that was just a complete game from Stu. Only 1 turnover. Obviously had a couple of blocks, huge blocks that swing the momentum. I think he had one on Jock Landale, I want to say, tried to dunk on him. And just anytime people go at him in the paint, I'm surprised when they score, because his timing, his length is incredible. And yeah, 6 of 6 from the line. Just the other thing, 5 offensive rebounds. I think there was 3 separate instances, no exaggeration, where Jaren Jackson Jr. mistimed his box out. Stu out-hustled him and got the rebound off missed free throws and either got 2 free throws or put it back. Particularly in the fourth, there was one instance where it was crucial where Asar missed 2 free throws. And I think it was only like a 5-point game, I want to say. And then Stu got that rebound, gets the 2 free throws, knocks them down. On a night where the Pistons only shoot 69% from the free throw line, being able to create 3 separate second chance opportunities off missed free throws is incredible. And just, like that's just all hustle and just outworking your opponent. So I feel like Stu has been awesome this season. It's crazy. So Jalen Duren has been really good as well. And unlike last year where JD started really slow and we were kind of calling for Stu to start, apart from maybe a few moments here and there, both of them have been really good, and Stu in particular. Just the defense has always been awesome, but I do think his rim protection has gone to another level. And then offensively, and he's missing a couple of 2-pointers around the rim, but just he's just scoring more. On the season now, through 7 games, off the bench, I think he's averaging 22 minutes, maybe. It'll probably be around 22, 23 after tonight, but he's averaging 12 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, 40% from 3, and just under 50% from the field. That is incredible to have a player like that at his size coming off the bench. It's going to be tough for him to make an all-defensive team while he's coming off the bench because of the requirements to even be eligible, but he would have to be a top 5 defensive player of the season so far. Top 7 at worst. Obviously, I don't watch the rest of the NBA a whole lot, but just watching him every night, I would be surprised if there's 5 more players playing better than him on defensive end, and then the offensive growth's awesome. So Stu, they don't win this game without him, no way. And just shout out to him. Wanted to lead off with him. Let me know your thoughts about him in the comments. But The game itself, the Pistons started well. The starters for the second game in a row, like, didn't give up a lead. I think at quarter time, the Pistons had a lead because it was their first quarter time lead of the season. Took 7 games, but that's a huge positive. And I want to say it was around even at halftime. Or maybe the Pistons had a 10-point lead at halftime. My mistake. So they kept building. And then in the third quarter, well, before I get to the third, I thought Ron Holland was the top scorer in the first half. He had 12 points. Stu had 11. Cade was he wasn't really getting to his shot too much. I think he had 10 at halftime. Was kind of going through the motions, trying to get his teammates involved. But Memphis were defending him pretty well, and he didn't really get too turnover prone, but just wasn't being as aggressive. And that's certainly changed. But in the third, the Pistons were firing. They came out, immediately get a turnover, got up by 12. Memphis come back, get it back to like 5 or 6. And then I want to say from like the 8-minute mark to the 4-minute mark, the Pistons just go on like a 21-3 run, get up by 20 points or something like that. Duncan Robinson, off some incredible ball movement, hits a nice relocation three. And everything looked amazing. And then all of a sudden, Jaren Jackson Jr. catches fire. And like we saw in the Mavs game, where the Pistons had a double-digit lead in the second, the Grizzlies immediately go on like an 11-2 run off the back of some awesome play from Jaren Jackson Jr. and get it all the way back to like an 8 or 9 point ball game. And it pretty much was like that for most of the fourth until down the stretch. I want to say around 5 minutes left. The Grizzlies just kept coming and coming and coming. The Pistons would score, but the Grizzlies would score a couple of buckets. Pistons turnover. It got all the way down to a 3-point game, but then Cade Cunningham just did what superstars do, and he had 19 points in the fourth, but I want to say in the last 3 minutes, he had about 10 of those. It started with a nice drive along the baseline where he finished over Jaren Jackson Jr. Then he comes back down, I think he's on Jar, I want to say, takes Jar down to like the elbow free throw line area, hits a step back over him, and then to absolutely ice the game and put the Pistons up by 7 or 8, he hits a step back three, and that was the ball game. And he finishes with 33 points. I want to say he had 8 or so assists. Where are his numbers here? Yeah, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, only 3 turnovers, which I think is awesome for Cade. I think you'll definitely take that. And overall shoots 12 of 20 from the field. Free throw shooting's weird for him. I don't know what's going on. 6 of 10. Misses the technical free throws all the time. Missed, I think, 2 again tonight. But 6 of 10. He made a pair in clutch time, which mattered the most. 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. So hopefully he can continue to build. But that's now 3 awesome All-NBA K type games in a row now. And I think he's building really nicely after a slow 3 to 4 games to start the season. And yeah, I think what I'm noticing from Cade this season, and I have some crazy numbers to back it up, but more so than ever in his career, even last year, like, I just feel like he's going to make the right plays and come through in the clutch now. Like, I think he's gotten to that level where earlier in his career, I'd be a bit nervous with his decision-making and shot-making in close games. He was pretty good as a rookie, but there was a stretch there where I feel like he struggled a little bit. I know he had the huge game winner against Miami and had the clutch block and layup over the Hawks, but something this year, he just feels like he's even more calm. He's more confident in himself, and I feel that just as a fan that he's going to make the right decisions. And on the season, he scored the most points in the fourth quarter of any player. He has 67. The next highest is Tyrese Maxey, who has 62. Austin Reeves, 61. Now, Cade's played 6 fourth quarters. Most of these guys have played 6 as well. A couple have played 7. So this isn't a case of him playing more time in the fourth. Like, he's truly just been the best fourth quarter player in the NBA. He's doing it efficiently. On the season, he's still only hovering around like 42% field goal, 30% from 3. But like I said in the last video, once it gets to the fourth, he's pretty much at 49% from the field, 43% from 3, 12 assists, only 3 turnovers. Huge. And then the free throw shooting percentage is 81%, hitting 17 or 21. So I want to see that get a little bit up, but he seems to be making most of them when it matters. He's not turning it over in the fourth, and Just incredible. He looks like a all NBA lock these last 3 games, and I expect him to be there at the end of the year, but awesome to see after a bit of a slow start. Um, where else do we want to go this game? I want to shout out Duncan Robinson again. Just being like quietly one of my favorite Pistons so far this season. The trend continues when he plays well. The Pistons win. Tonight he had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 9 from deep, which you'll take with a guy like him. Missed probably 1 or 2 he would want back off the catch, which you expect him to knock down, but he played 40 minutes. I didn't actually realize he played that much, but he's just so crucial to this team. There was a play where I think he hesitated, got Jaren Jackson off balance, and then took him to the rim and finished it. Also, like, moves the ball really well. Just hit some really timely threes, I felt like, whether it was in the first or second half. So just really enjoying having him on the team. And really, apart from the Bulls game, I don't really count that Cavs game because that was just a write-off to me. I said it at the time. He's been awesome. Like, I think he's been a really good pickup. He's worth the contract that they signed him to. So shout out to Duncan. Ron Holland, I have to shout him out. Awesome first half, 12 points, like I said, 14 for the game. Hit a corner 3, which we always love to see. 1 of 2, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 5 of 8. Created some transition opportunities and just continues to build on a really, really solid second season in the league. Jalen Duren was solid, started hot in this one, had 8 points in the first, but then Stu kind of was the one they deferred to. Played a lot of Stu and Duren together. Probably the most minutes they've ever played together. They both played 34 minutes tonight, and the results were pretty good, especially against Memphis's 2 bigs, with them having Jaren Jackson always at the 4 or Aldama, and Jock Landale. So that's definitely something. I don't know if that's something you start. I don't think it is on Tobias's back, but I think that's something you can go to a lot more to get those 2 out on the floor more, because that looked really good tonight, really promising, and you notice the physicality. The Pistons were losing the rebounding battle early, but they end up pretty much only losing it by 5. And then 3-point shooting wise, the team's kind of evened out. So maybe against a better shooting 3-point team on that night, the 2 bigs might get a little bit more exposed, but 8 offensive rebounds between them's huge. And I think that's definitely a look I want to see more of, even if they don't start. But just an awesome game, really fun. Like I said, they're now 5-2 on the season. I think one thing I want to just go through it's still early. I think 15 to 20 games is where you can start drawing some real judgments and conclusions. But so far, when we look at some advanced metrics, the Pistons rank 17th in the NBA for offense. So not great, but around the middle. And then these are the good numbers. Defensively, they have the 5th best defensive rating in the NBA. Top 5 defense. And that's what they were for a lot of that hot stretch last season. And I think they were like 2nd or 3rd in defense from like January to March last year. And they've started this season really strong. And their net rating, they are currently 9th with plus 3.5. So all the indicators are pretty solid. I think the offense, the starters seems to be figuring it out better these past 3 games after a pretty horrible first 4 or 5 games. They've really started to click and figuring each other out. Clearly shooting's still an issue, and you sometimes feel that, like, in the first quarter, I thought the Pistons were the much better team, but because they can't capitalize on these threes and they're so heavily relying on 2-point scoring, all the Grizzlies have to do is hit 2 threes, and that 6-point lead you've worked really hard for, or that 10-point lead, it goes really quickly. So it is something I'm noticing, just like the math game, if you want to call that the Pistons aren't getting up a lot of threes and they don't make a lot. That could be something that they need to address. I think they do need another shooter, and we're going to end the show talking about who that could be. But overall, the defense is amazing and the offense is competent right now. And I expect that to get a little bit better with Cade getting better and the team getting in more of a flow. I would say the only negative for me tonight was Asar Thompson's free throw shooting. Just a little bit worrying. It's kind of getting to the point where I am surprised if he hits 1 right now, which I've never been someone that's like, you got to hit both, or this is absolutely horrific with where his jumper is. But tonight, 1 of 6 free throws. Like, I think you got to be at 50% minimum. Missed 2 key crucial ones down the stretch where Stu got the rebound off, but you need him hitting at least 1 I think it was a 3-point ball game, and if he hits one, it's 4 points, 2-possession game. But to get 0 there, most of the time, the defensive team's going to get that rebound, and you don't get that second chance look. So, but Asar's still having an impact. He had 4 steals, 2 blocks, made some incredible defensive plays with an amazing block on Jock Landale, who thought he had an open dunk. Awesome steal from Ja Morant that created 2 points for him in transition. So he's still making an impact. I would just love to see him hit those free throws, because I think he's going to need to do that, especially if he's not going to knock down threes anytime soon. But that was a negative for me. But nothing I'm worried about too much long term, but he needs to fix that up. And then Karis LeVert, I don't want to go in on him too much in a win, but yeah, you got to figure his role out, because I'll be honest, whenever he has the ball, he looks chaotic. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, and he'll pull off one really nice dribble move, and then the next it looks like he's going to lose it. He just looks very out of sync, and they brought him in to be an on-ball player, so I'm going to give him more time, like I spoke about in the last video. But yeah, tonight's game only made me a little bit more worried than I was yesterday, but it's still very early, but just something to monitor. But we're going to close out the show here with an update on Malik Beasley, who posted on his Snapchat yesterday, as you can see on the right here. I don't follow Bees on Snapchat. I just came across this on Twitter, but he said, "I'm going to the D this week. I wonder why." So Malik has been, making noise all off season, constantly alluding to the fact of he might be returning to the NBA, he might return to the Pistons. So I'm not reading into this too much, but they do have that 15th roster spot. They still can offer him one of the best deals of any team in the NBA. It feels like if he's cleared, he'll come back to Detroit, if Trajan still wants to do that, which I assume he probably would if he is cleared, because there'll be no baggage surrounding Bees anymore. So if they add Malik, wow. That's the missing piece to me. Even when they get Ivy back and Sasa, I think those two will help a lot with the shooting and some of the on-ball stuff. But if they get Malik Beasley back, I don't know I don't want to get too ahead of myself this early, but if he's even 70% of what he was last year, having a shooter like that back on the roster, that would be the final piece for me. And I think you would have enough then to really make a Eastern Conference Finals push. I truly believe that. So maybe I'm a bit bullish, but I think adding another shooter, a dead-eye shooter like Malik, with getting Ivy and potentially Sasa back, there'll be other injuries, but I think that would kind of complete the roster for me. For this season, maybe they still need to find that true number 2 long-term, but I would be ecstatic. So I hope Malik's not just doing something here to get us all excited, but I guess we don't know what's going on in that investigation, but I wanted to quickly bring it up because he was pretty much alluding to the fact here he's going to be in Detroit and, getting us all to think he's going to be going back to the Pistons or something. We'll see what happens there, but awesome game tonight. Hope you're all enjoying this season as much as I am. Let me know your comments below, but until next time, as always, go Pistons.